Good evening, everybody. It is February 1st, 2022. Already February, kind of crazy. But before we start the stream, I just wanted to wish everybody a very happy Chinese New Year for everybody who is celebrating. I hope you have a fantastic and wonderful holiday with you, your family, and your friends. So I just wanted to start off the stream before we go into our usual financial topics by wishing everybody a very, very happy, healthy Chinese New Year. Hey, Felix is in the house. Marcy M, Day's Work is here. Vivina says hi. Theresa, Jonathan Richards, the one and only NG, says, hello, Tom, good night. What's up, NG? Otto is here. We have Dalton, Santa Monica Rodriguez, Joey. How is everybody? It's good to see you. Everclear 1102 says, hey, Tom, another follow through day. What's up, Everclear 1102? We'll talk about all that and more on today's stream. I see Vinny Castellano says, good evening, Tom. Hope you are doing well. Lou Rodriguez, as always. Our pal Sanjeev. Good evening, Sanjeev says, good evening, Tom, and the Wall Street Walks family. So we're sitting here at Central Park South. Beautiful night. It's not too cold. We're overlooking Billionaires Row, the Steinway building, as well as the one and only, you guessed it. Does anybody know what this building is? It's very famous. Could anybody guess? Hey, Roya says, hi, Tom, and all mods. But tonight on the stream, we are going to be doing a deep dive into Alphabet's earnings report as well as AMD. Now, those weren't the only two companies reporting earnings on Wall Street today, but I think it's important to talk about these two because over the past couple of weeks on the stream, we've really been hitting home and hammering down on the semiconductor space as well as the cloud computing space. We had PayPal down big after hours after a earnings miss. And we also have Starbucks, I think that's down fractionally due to margin compression and increased employee turnover due to the virus. Hey, Marilyn is here. Good to see you. How are you? Zilch is here. Says Home Alone. Mets fan says Short Evergrande. What's up, Mets fan? Just let me put my laptop away, everybody, and then we will begin. So I think we'll take a walk down to Chinatown tonight. It is Chinese New Year. So I'm wishing everybody a very happy and healthy New Year to everybody. Zilch is here, says hi, Tom. Smee is here. Lou Rodriguez says, what's up? Mets fan 1023, good to see you as always. Marilyn Ringle is joining us from Murray Hill. Yeah, so we're standing outside the Plaza Hotel. You guys guessed it. One of my favorite buildings in New York City. Charlie Richardson is here. Marcy M says, yes, many of our Starbucks closed early due to staffing shortages. Yeah, so Kevin Johnson is the CEO of Starbucks as we are looking into the Apple store here on Fifth Avenue. And one of the things they brought up on the conference call, on the earnings call, was that they were experiencing higher than normal employee turnover. And this could be due to a couple reasons. You know, obviously, we've had the massive global resignation across many industries. But in Starbucks, you know, they're very customer facing. You know, they serve customers in the stores. So unfortunately, a lot of their employees are getting sick. And a lot of the stores actually are shutting down due to staffing shortages. Another thing that impacted Starbucks' bottom line this quarter was the fact that many of their retail stores are actually located in China. And as we know, China has been taking, let's just say, a more of a stricter approach on COVID lockdowns and restrictions as opposed to the United States and Europe. Hey, Michelle McGraw is here. Aaron Prill says, good evening, Tom and everybody. Brandy is here, says, hey there, Tom. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everybody's week is off to a great start as we are standing on the corner of 5th Avenue and East 59th Street. Marcy M says, trippy Apple store. Paul P says, happy Chinese New Year. Right back at you. I see Tortellini Sanjib is here. Says, hey, Tom. How are you? What's up, Sanjib? Good to see you. Paul Greenwell is here. Hey, Paul. Charlie Richardson. So the two earnings reports I really want to hammer down on tonight, everybody. Number one being Alphabet. So Alphabet Google parent company Alphabet reported earnings that superseded analysts' expectations. And if we remember yesterday on the stream, we were sort of alluding to this, right? And why do I say that? Well, because last week we heard from Microsoft, and Microsoft gets a lot of their revenue from their cloud computing division, which is Microsoft Azure. So one of the main metrics that a lot of analysts look for on Wall Street when a company like Google reports is their Google cloud computing revenue. You know, obviously we know that Amazon AWS is the number one, the top dog, so to speak, when talking about cloud computing, with Microsoft a close second. But Google actually reported some phenomenal results, and we'll talk about that more tonight. Hey, Sandra's here, says hello Tom, greetings from Argentina. Welcome everybody from Argentina. Yeah, so a lot of people in the chat said they bought AMD on that follow-through day yesterday. So everybody, yesterday we covered on the stream, we did have a follow-through day. Markets were up over the previous trading day on higher than normal volume, but you know, we did want to cover and want to make a note that the vast majority of volume could have been due to short covering, but it was a follow-through day, so I did buy some stocks anyway with limited risk. Hey, Prince Charming is here, says, hey Tom, just joining in. Diana is here. Lou G says, good evening y'all. Hey Lou. So we're overlooking Billionaires Row. The tallest building here is Central Park Tower, which is all the way in the back, but you could also see Steinway as well as 157. Tatiana says, good evening, Tom. How are you doing? I'm doing really well. I hope you're doing good too. Flat Smack says, what's up, Tom? What's good? Dutchman says, tomorrow is Groundhog's Day, Tom. Will there be 6 more weeks of winter? I mean, please God, no. I mean, in my opinion, I think I'm done with winter so far. Peter Webley says, Tom, good evening from Malibu, California. Hope you're well, Peter. So we are going to be walking down 5th Avenue all the way to Chinatown in celebration of the Chinese New Year. Dante Rose says, hey Tom, stay safe. Thank you, Dante. Bianca says, are you going to Miami tomorrow? So I should be going to Miami now on Saturday. Things are getting really hectic at work, which is good. That means deal flow is picking up, but hey, Bernard Friedman says, hey Tom. Hey Bernard, hope you're well. Bernard Friedman is joining us from downtown in southern Florida there. Bianca M, no, not tomorrow. I saw your comment. Hey, Edson says, hey Tom, good to see you again. Good to see you again too, Edson. Hope you're well. Sally is here, says, hi Tom, how are you doing this evening? Better than I deserve, as Dave Ramsey would say. I'm doing very, very well. Hey, Western Mass Dave says, evening Tom, hope the meetings went well. More to come tomorrow, Western Mass Dave. A lot of meetings tomorrow. Hey everybody, we have Ahmed here. Says, man, I really love the live streaming. Full of support from Egypt. Hey, welcome everybody from Egypt. Love that. Welcome to all our Egyptian viewers as we are here on 5th Avenue, the corner of 57th Street and Billionaires Row. So today we had Google, ticker symbol GOOGL, report earnings. But big breaking news out of Google, they just announced a 20-to-1 stock split. And the CEO says this is an effort to get, to make more shares accessible to the average retail investor. When you have share prices in the thousands, oftentimes what a company will do is they'll split the stock, which doesn't have any effect on market capitalization. It just means that you'll get more stock in your brokerage account, but just at a lower price. So market capitalization stays the same, valuations are the same, but when a stock splits, it just makes the price of the actual share a little bit more affordable for everybody to get in on it. But just judging off the bottom line alone, earnings per share came in at $30.69, well above analyst estimates of $27.34. So a big beat there on the bottom line for Alphabet Google. Revenue came in at $75.33 billion versus $72.17 billion that was expected by many analysts on the street. And that is up 32%. So unbelievable explosive earnings growth Unbelievable explosive sales growth for Google. Hey, super friends in the city, Fernando is here. Hey, Fernando. Happy Tuesday, shot by Scott. Says, Tom, you're still in New York City. You're doing the snowbird thing all wrong. Scott, I will be back soon, I promise. Hope you're well. JQG Atlas says, hey, Tom, it's not too cold tonight. You're right, it's not that cold. It's not. But we are standing outside of the Trump Tower here. Tejada says, but if you can buy decimals of stocks, why split? Tejada, could you rephrase that question a little bit? And I'd be more than happy to answer. Bianca M, good to see you. I see Dana is here, says good evening. Marilyn says, so we can all get up early tomorrow. Ah, very cool. Very cool. Groundhog's Day. Hey, Solo 401 says, what's good? What is good, Solo 401? So there was a lot of earnings on Wall Street today. PayPal down big after the bell. Starbucks, a disappointing report. But the two I want to talk about is AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, and Google. Because as we talk about on this channel, we talk strictly CANSLIM investing style. So we like to focus on companies that are growing their earnings, growing their sales, very good pre-tax and after-tax margins. We want to focus on the cream of the crop on Wall Street, and we really want to ignore all those companies that aren't reporting good earnings. Bianca M says, are you going to Miami tomorrow? Bianca, I am not. I think I just answered that. Flat Smack says, Tom, I agree. USA is the greatest country in the world. Awesome. Samantha J is here. Jake is here, says, I wish I was living in New York where I live. It's snowing every day of the week. We get 7 feet. Tejada says, in the US, you could buy like 0.01% Google stock. Why splitting the stock would make it more liquid? Well, it really just has to do with accessibility. So when a stock splits, it has nothing to do with actual valuation or market capitalization. All it does is reduces the amount of the share price, if that makes sense. So, let's say if there's a Google that's trading at almost $3,000, to the average person, it's not going to be attractive to buy that, right? But if they split and then it goes down to like $200, well, then people can wrap their head around that. And then I think that's what's going to propel Google to its next $1 trillion valuation. Hey, Unlimited Stimulus says, Tom, I think Amazon will split next. Maybe. What do you think? Do you think that on Amazon's earnings report, will they announce a stock split? Hey, Ron says, hey, Tom, hello. Hope you're having a productive week. Things have been really good. Things are looking on the up and up. We have large deal flow coming through, but a lot of work to do so far. Hey, Bianca M says, Tom, yesterday's live stream was awesome. Thank you, Bianca. We have the one and only Joe Hernandez joining, says hi, Tom. Chris is here, says hi, Tom. What's up, Chris? Hope your foot is feeling better. Cosmo Scary says, you enjoying the warm weather? I am. Indeed, I am. No, shot by Scott, not you. I think it was somebody else in the chat is saying that about the Miami. Yeah, but Scott, it looks like I'll probably be back on Saturday. Looks like Saturday. Triple G says, hi, Tom. The dividends are adjusted to reflect the split. Absolutely, 100% on. So Triple G, what did you think about Alphabet's earnings report today? Joey is here, says, hey, Tom. What's up, Joey? We are right outside of the Peninsula Hotel on 5th Avenue. Beautiful architecture here. Carter says, hey, Tom, glad to catch your stream. Good to see you, Carter, as always. The one and only Sunshine New York is here, too. What's up, Sunshine? Steve G says, what's up, Tom? I made it here. What's up, Steve? So I'm not sure if anybody remembers, but last quarter, we actually dedicated a live stream to Google's earnings. And if you remember correctly, I said that, Google's core cloud computing business is probably going to continue to lose money, but every single quarter, I forecast Google's cloud computing unit to lose less and less money, which is good because over time, what's going to happen is the cloud computing unit at Google is going to turn profitable, and that's going to drive earnings growth even more. So check this out. I'll pull over to the side here so you guys can see St. Thomas Church. So the cloud computing revenue at Google grew 45% with an operating loss of $890 million. So even though it grew its revenue, it did lose about $890 million. But here's the good news. That's down from about $1.14 billion loss a year ago. So it seems to be holding up with the same thesis we've been talking about all along. You know, we think that Google Cloud Unit is going to continue to lose money, but every single quarter we see great improvement where it loses less and less money. So this time last year, Google lost about $1.14 billion on their cloud computing division, but this year they only lost about 890. So we're moving in the right direction. Hey, Joey says, I need to get into Google, long overdue. Well, the stock's up about 10% after hours. You know, but it wasn't all good on Wall Street today. I think PayPal, could anybody confirm that PayPal, I think, is still down about 15%? Hey, I see Dino here. Says, Tom, do you feel the same about mutual funds and ETFs that track the NASDAQ as the ones that track the S&P? Yeah, so Dino, that's a fantastic question. That's an unbelievable question, Dino, and I'll tell you why. So if we really analyze all the companies that make up the vast majority of the market cap of the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, you know, the S&P 500 is almost turning into a tech index, right? And I think the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you know, last year, does anybody remember what software stock was added to the Dow? Does anybody remember? I'll give you a hint. Mark Benioff. Yeah, Salesforce. I see it in the chat. Salesforce was added to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So I think that Google, here's my take on Google. I think that they're going to get added to the Dow 30. And they're going to start to remove away a lot of the old big clunky manufacturing companies. So Dino, I think over the long term, you're going to see the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow have very similar betas. But that is just my opinion. What do you guys think? Unlimited Stimulus says PayPal is down 18% after hours. Yeah, they missed the mark across the board. It wasn't really a good quarter. You know, even though they were growing their earnings and their sales, we're seeing significant deceleration in that. Dino says, oh, cool. Good to see you, Dino. Shot by Scott says, too late for pop quizzes. Lady O with the Salesforce, you got it. Joey says, Tom, PayPal is down 17% after hours. 509 says, Tom, it's crazy how all the snow melted. So I think we're going to have to cross the street because St. Patrick's Cathedral is totally blocked off. So I think we have to go around the block. So just give us a moment here. Wow, Sabrina says, Tom, I left Timcast for your stream. Thank you. That's awesome. Hey, Everclear says, Tom, do you employ anyone for your tech sales business? So I have one contractor. But here's what I'm trying to do. Man, is it me or is it loud today? I feel like my eardrums are getting hammered. It's bang and clang all over. Maybe it's just the garbage trucks are right next to me. But I'm trying to build out 3 separate divisions. What I want to do is I want to build a traditional like VAR, value-added reseller, or a software sales division. Number 2, I want to build an equity research division that specializes in enterprise software companies. And number 3, a dedicated recruiting company that focuses on placing the best salespeople to enterprise technology startup companies. Yeah, Eyeglass Lady says it's noisy. It is noisy. It is crazy. Sunshine New York says better than the no use if the New Year banging in Chinatown today. Well, we're actually going to head to Chinatown. So happy New Year to everybody. It is the Chinese New Year. So to everybody who celebrates, I hope you're having a fantastic start to your new year with your friends and your family. So I'm wishing you a very, very happy, healthy, and successful New Year to everybody in the chat. Hey, we got Smee in the house. What's up, Smee? Marty Lewis is here. Tom M says, hey, Tom, Mafia boss Paul Castellano was shot in front of Spark Steakhouse in Manhattan. Are you near there? We are not near there. I believe that is close to Grand Central Station. Hey, Lou G, what's going on? It says, yeah, I'll Google what's going on at St. Patrick's. I believe it's, a service for the police officer who unfortunately died in Harlem. Nirvana Fan 500 is here, says, what's up? How are you, Nirvana? Good to see you. Yeah, so all the streets around St. Patrick's Cathedral is closed down. Hey, Russ says, Tom, I watch you every night. Hello from North Carolina. Thank you, Russ. Yeah, Dino says, service for Officer Mora. Yeah, we lost 2 unbelievable service members last month in the NYPD. So we appreciate everything the New York City Police Department does to keep us safe. You know, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do these streams. So big thank you to the men and women in the New York City Police Department. We appreciate it. And condolences on this horrible, horrible few weeks here. So we are looking at the One Vanderbilt building as we are walking down Madison Avenue. So you know what we'll do, everybody? I'm not sure who was around for the Miami streams, but this is the Eden Fine Art. So we'll take a look at some of the art here, because we always look at this in Miami. And then here's 432 Park Avenue, which is one of the Billionaires Row buildings here. Hey, Razzle Dazzle says, Tom, my brother is a San Francisco police officer. Much respect to all officers. Well, Razzle Dazzle, please, please, please tell your brother to be safe, and we support him. So please be safe, and thank you for everything that he does. As we are here at the Eden Fine Art Gallery. I see Tech Explorers NYC is here. What is up, Tech Explorers? Good to see you. Enzo says, Tom, do you think I could apply for a job in the United States as a software engineer from Argentina, having experience? I think so. I mean, I can't advise on any of the legalese in terms of getting a visa to work here. But in terms of just your overall skills, you know, if you know how to code, if you think you could bring value, I think you could do it, to be honest. So now we are at the Eden Fine Art Gallery. You know what? A lot of these pieces are exactly the same from the ones NYC says, remember, just because you aren't Asian doesn't mean you can't celebrate Lunar New Year. Everybody deserves more days off. Hey, Tech Explorers NYC, I can get behind that. I can get behind that. I'm down with that. But good to see you, Tech Explorers NYC. Hope you're staying warm. Oh man, if this is not the coolest freaking painting. Wow. What do you say, everybody on the stream, we all pitch in to buy the Empire State Building, And then right as we walk into the lobby, boom, we got this guy. Thumbs up, thumbs down? I give it a thumbs up. What do you guys think? Thumbs up? Vince is who's on top of the bull. I think that's Richie Rich, isn't it? Let's get a close look here. Wow, and so on the actual painting are all original stock certificates. Very cool. This is awesome. Wow. Too bad the Mighty Bull's not in the chat tonight. It's a great piece. Sanjeev says thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yeah, Sanjeev, this is a beautiful piece here. Eden Fine Art. Sanjeev, I'm not sure if you remember from the Miami streams, we always take a walk around the Eden Fine Art Gallery in Miami. Really, really amazing pieces here. Hey, Tom M says Qualcomm reports tomorrow. That they do. AMD reported a great quarter. And AMD actually got the go-ahead, got the green light from the Chinese regulators to close on their deal with Xilinx, which is really, really positive, really good. Shot by Scott says that's Richie Tom, not Richie Rich. Funny. Yeah, Royce is just like the one in Miami. You're right. Hey, Rob DeCaro says Ohio is under a winter storm warning and winter storm watch. Please be safe over there in Ohio. But Rob, so speaking of semiconductors, we have some good news coming out of Ohio. Intel just announced that they're going to invest $20 billion into chip manufacturing facilities in Ohio. So that's awesome. It's going to bring a lot of good paying jobs and a lot of much needed semiconductor infrastructure in the United States, which is very good. Yeah, Sanjeev says they have one in Lincoln Street Mall in Miami. You're right. You were right. Triple G says, Tom, full transparency, Google revenue looks solid, including cloud. Gonna wait to acquire shares after July. Yeah, I mean, Triple G, I think you may be onto something there. I mean, the stock did pop 10% after hours, but you know, the reason why I like to highlight these specific companies, and I think we'll make our way back to Fifth Avenue and walk down. But the reason why I like to highlight these specific companies is because, you know, a lot of the times I'll get questions, hey Tom, you know, how do we, you know, find the appropriate stocks to buy? Well, it's I'm not going to say it's easy, but what you want to look for is certain, ooh, that was almost a crash. What you want to look for is very, very particular criteria. And that can include, you want to make sure the earnings stability of the company is intact. Right, so what do I mean by that? Let's take PayPal as an example. So PayPal is down after hours. And if we really, really paid attention to what they said in that earnings report, so even though they technically had solid earnings, you know, their earnings came in good, their revenue came in good. If we really go back historically, we're seeing net deceleration in those earnings every single quarter. And if we understand that the market is a forward-looking indicator and is a discounting mechanism, well, that's why the stock is down, right? Nobody buys a stock for its earnings in the past. People want to buy the stock for its earnings in the future. So if PayPal's earnings is consistently decelerating every quarter, well, institutional money managers are going to shift their fund flows into stocks or companies that are growing their earnings, that are accelerating as opposed to decelerating. Wow, check out this shot of 30 Rock here. Beautiful. Hey, MJ Capital says, great job from Brazil. Hey, what's up? MJ Capital, good to see you. Welcome everybody from Brazil. Sarah G is in the house. Kim Grant is in the house. XXX says, hello everybody. And Tom, Canadian truckers are strong and triple jabbed Trudeau is still hiding. This is XXX. Triple G says, Nvidia, nice move after hours today. How much is Nvidia up after hours? Well, it's probably up off the back of the AMD report. because AMD reported a lights out quarter. Hey, Juan is here. Says Philly in the hizzy. What's up, Juan? Happy Tuesday, Juan. Good to see you. So I understand that we're in Midtown now, but we will be making our way to Chinatown for the new year. Hey, Aces walks in Wall Street. Thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, FedEx was up. Sympathy to UPS this morning. Says Vink. Sabrina Fair, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're well. We're looking at 30 Rock as we're standing on 5th Avenue. But if you walk up 2 more streets near St. Patrick's Cathedral, the street is still closed off. RJ says, I think I'll head out and snowblow and get ahead of the storm. RJ, good luck. I wish I could help you out. But I am here in New York. Bob says, Tom, PayPal has issues now having to report to IRS with smaller amounts, and gig workers do not like it. Joey says, just read the Starbucks earnings transcript. Hey, Joey, so Joey is in the coffee business. So if anybody doesn't know, if you look in the comments and you see Joey's comment, Joey is the one to look for or the one to talk to in relation to the coffee business, because he actually owns a coffee company right here in New York. And if one of the moderators or Joey, if you want to drop a link to your company in the description, I would highly, highly recommend you check it out. Joey actually sent me some of his product, which was really, really, really good. So I think in times like these, it's good, it's positive to support local businesses. So please check out Joey's Coffee Company. The link will be in the description. But Joey, what have you been seeing from the transcript? I was on the Bloomberg terminal today, but I was multitasking between AMD and Google's call. But the main thing that I saw on Starbucks was that higher commodities prices put a lot of pressure on their margins, and they also had to spend a lot more money due to employee turnover. Hey, Monty's here, says hello from Brooklyn. Good to see you. Rich is here, says good evening from Wisconsin. What's up, Rich? Shot by Scott. Says crypto is too mainstream now. Hold the line. Yeah, Scott, I am long Bitcoin. Joey says, Tom, Starbucks reported higher earnings, but brought on costs as expected. Yeah, I heard something about their margin compression. Was that just me, or did I actually read that? I could have sworn I saw a headline about margin compression because commodities are going up, as well as the costs of compensation. Hey, Tanya S is here. Says, hey, Tom, how's it going? It's going really good, Tanya. I hope you're well. Everybody, we have Techno Pink. Techno Pink is a consultant at Ernst & Young. Good to see you, Techno Pink. Kathy Lyons says, hello, Tom, and everybody, and Happy New Year. Joan Swartz says, hey, I will be traveling to New York this Monday, planning to do a road trip from New York to Philadelphia. That's awesome. You're going to have a blast. Hey, Sanjeev says, would love to try Joey's coffee. Yeah, so it should be in one of the links in the description or in the Nightbot. The Nightbot will drop the link. But Sanjeev, it's actually really good. So Joey was kind enough to send me some coffee, and it was really good. I like the ones that are in the cans, like the pre-made cold brew. Phenomenal. Hey, Ken Kramer says, hey, Tom, AMD crushed earnings today. Yeah, Ken Kramer, you are the AMD guy. AMD did crush earnings. That is the topic of tonight's stream, as well as Google. So Google and AMD up big after hours. All good news on that front. Jay is here. Says, hey Tom, when are you going back to Miami? Maybe on Saturday. Hopefully. Hopefully. But AMD reported earnings per share of about 92 cents. Many of the analysts on Wall Street were expecting 76 cents. So that is up about 26% year over year. And if we think about the criteria of the companies or the stocks that I like to invest in, I look for at least a minimum of 25% EPS growth, quarter over quarter, year over year. So NVIDIA definitely, AMD definitely does fit that description. So check this out. AMD gave really good forward guidance for 2022. Really good forward guidance for 2022. And they're expecting $21.5 billion in sales for 2022 versus $19.26 billion expected by analysts. So they actually guided higher than analyst expectations. And just to give you an example, in 2021, that is the year that just closed in December, AMD sales went up 68%, while gross margin increased to 48%. So a margin expansion of 3%. So unbelievable. So everything we talk about on the streams, we want to look for companies, earnings growth, sales growth, pre-tax, after-tax margins, return on equity. These are the liquid leaders that really drive the market higher. And that's why we see AMD up about 8% after hours, Alphabet, Google up about 10. So congratulations to shareholders. Shot by Scott, love it. Oh, let me do that too. So we're walking downtown now. Hey, Carol H is here, says hi Tom, and hello everybody. Hey Carol, good to see you. Ken Kramer says, Tom, I bought AMD in 2014 for $3. Wow, Ken, God bless you. God bless you, God bless you. Good to see you. Hey, Brian says, Tom, what is driving AMD? Well, there's a couple things. I was listening to the earnings report a little bit. Hold on. It's getting windy. Wind is picking up. Jones says, hey Tom, I work for a multinational HVAC manufacturer. Have you ever bought an HVAC company's stock? So I haven't. I have not. What do you think? So I think the main thing that's driving AMD, and one of the highlights of the earnings report, was the cloud service and game console chip sales. And this particular segment is the embedded enterprise and semi-custom segment. And this was up 75% to about $2.2 billion. And this was powered by server chip and game console sales. And that's something we talk about all the time on the stream too, is big data centers, servers, game consoles. So all good news. Hey, Dutchman says, Tom, is the software company you work for publicly traded or held? The one that I did work for is worked, plural. Hey, Carter says, I bought a weed company stock at 75, now it's $10. Yikes. That's not good. Well, hopefully you can recover your money somehow. Hey Now says, hey Now, what's up, Hey Now? Good to see you. We are looking at the One Vanderbilt building here. Tortellini says, Tom, what are your thoughts on Palantir? So I get this question a lot, and I actually got this question a lot more about 5 months ago when the stock was trading at all-time record highs. And it's a good company, but I cannot buy the stock because it's not profitable. It doesn't have earnings. So just know that if a company does not have earnings and we enter a market correction, those are going to be the stocks that are going to get clocked the most. So just be careful. Sudhan says, what if Robinhood goes bankrupt or suddenly the company goes down? What happened to your stocks that you bought through the app? I would never use Robinhood ever. So on this channel, I strongly advise against using companies or broker dealers like Robinhood or Webull. I don't agree. I would say our ethics do not align. So I guess I'll never have to worry about that problem because I would never buy anything on Robinhood ever. Yeah, Joey says UPS got all that Target business. That is right. That is true. Yeah, Obama says UPS did a lot of work with Amazon this Christmas as well. That they did. So we are standing right outside of the New York Public Library, the Stephen Schwarzman building. And you can see the Bank of America Tower as well as Salesforce Tower in the distance. So I can't recommend particular stocks to buy. We just usually talk about how to identify particular companies to invest in. But the broker dealers that I use is Interactive Brokers and Charles Schwab. Those are the two companies that I use, Interactive Brokers and Charles Schwab. But I cannot recommend companies to invest in. Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of questions in the chat. You know, what do I think of Webull? What do I think of the Prime Investing app? What do I think of Robinhood? It just doesn't align with. In my personal opinion, for me, I would never put a dime of my money in these type of sites. That's just my opinion. You know, but that's just me. I use Interactive Brokers and Charles Schwab. So here we have the Chrysler building here. Yeah, I mean, look, Robinhood is, you know, a platform. But I think the way they market themselves is a little bit unethical because they're obviously targeting novice investors that don't have much money, and they're encouraging gambling, which I'm against. But look, that's just my personal opinion. It doesn't mean that you guys can't use the app. That just means it doesn't align with my views personally. Hey, Ruby Falcone, what's up? Happy Tuesday. Yeah, the Chrysler building looks beautiful tonight, doesn't it? Tanya S says, Tom, what do you think about Ameritrade? It's good. It's good. Andy is joining us from South Korea. Good to see you, Andy, as always. Hope you're well. Beautiful night. I'm so happy it's not cold out tonight because my hands the past couple nights have been freezing. But now it's quite nice. It's quite nice. Nice night for a walk. Triple G says, Tom, Nvidia up $11 after hours, just shy of 5%. Horatio Snipes says, hello, Tom, from Northern Virginia. Joey's is Robinhood may not be laying the proper fundamentals for rookie traders. Yeah, I mean, Joey, I think, so here's the thing, right? If we understand Robinhood's business model, they make money when retail investors turn over their account. So what do I mean by turn over the account? What I mean by that is trade a lot. So buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell stocks. Because the vast majority, or 100% of the orders that Robinhood transacts in goes through something called payment for order flow. So the majority, if not all of the trades, are not settled by Robinhood. They actually sell their order flow to big institutional market makers or quantitative firms on Wall Street, in which case they get paid on that order flow. And that is called payment for order flow. So that's why Robinhood has all of this marketing, and you know, whenever you buy and sell a stock, there's balloons flying around and confetti blowing in your face, you know, because it forces and it encourages this ridiculous gambling behavior, because they want you to turn over your account. They want you to trade and they want you to be active, because they send your order flow to Citadel, Jump Trading, 2 Sigma, in which case they buy your orders from them. Wow, this is an even better view of the Chrysler building right here. Sunshine New York says exactly, Tom. Don't believe the hype. Agreed. So we are now at Pershing Square. So speaking of Pershing Square, and the one and only...
I'm not worried for speaker. That's the political.
Hold on one second. And the one and only Bill Ackman, Pershing Square. You know, Netflix got hammered 25%, but that stock has been ripping ever since Bill Ackman purchased a very large share. KM says, I like Robinhood because I could buy partial shares. Yeah, that's a good point, but you could pretty much buy partial shares on every single broker dealer. Wow, check that out. I could just sit here and look at the Chrysler building all day. Hey, Al Baker is here. Hey, Al. Hope you're well. Sarah G, good to see you. Hey, Stephanie's here, says beautiful view. Savvy's here, says big snowstorm coming to Canada again, starting on Wednesday to Friday. Wow. So that was the one Vanderbilt building, but we do have to make good time on the stream tonight because we have to go all the way down to Chinatown. Hey, Animal DL says, hey, Tom. What's up, Animal DL? Lou G says Tom could be a photographer. He's got a good eye. So if you guys want to look at some really good photography, I would recommend Shot by Scott in the chat. Yeah, Cosmo Scary says far from Chinatown without the board. Agreed. Hey, Daryl's here. Says hello, Tom from Chicago. What's up, Daryl? Donna Thompson says, do people live in those buildings or are they just offices? Well, the one Vanderbilt is not residential. It's just office buildings. Hey, Gregory says, hello from Minnesota. I like the stream. Hey, Gregory. Thank you for joining. We appreciate it. We usually go live about 5 days a week between New York City and Miami. And during weekdays, we cover specific financial topics. But on the weekends, we sort of just hang out. We'll go up here because if we make a right on Library Way, which is also 41st Street, you're gonna see an amazing view of the Steven Schwartzman building without any cars. You guys are gonna love it. Hey, NNB 045 is here. This is Tom. A report came out today saying widespread buying at Rio Tinto. Interesting headline. Yeah, that is an interesting headline. Well, as you guys know, I did buy a little bit. I added in my I just bought the market, the S&P 500 in my long-term retirement account on Monday, right at the close on that follow-through day. But in my actively managed account, I bought Servicenow and Apple, really because the market is so thin. There's not a lot of good merchandise to buy. But here's the view I'm talking about. You can see the New York Public Library in the distance here. Hey, Joey, this is Tom. What do you like about Servicenow? Well, I'd say the fundamentals hit on all cylinders, right? So, unbelievable enterprise software company for ticketing, reporting. You could think of like an Atlassian. But Servicenow, the CEO is Bill McDermott, and he is a former SAP, big enterprise sales guy, really, really smart guy, Bill McDermott. And Servicenow continues to blow out its revenues, continues to blow out its earnings. Every single quarter for the past 6 quarters have been a beat and raise quarter by Servicenow. And 2 streams ago, Joey, we actually did an in-depth report on Servicenow's most recent earnings report. So now we are looking at the Bank of America Tower, Salesforce Tower, which is Mark Benioff's company, CRM, and then the H&M building in the background. Hey, Dutchman is here. This is Tom. When I came to New York City, I stayed at Secaucus, New Jersey, and took the bus from the hotel to the Port Authority. No car rental needed. Yeah, you could also do that. That's a good point, Dutchman. That's actually a really good point. Hey, Dallas is here. This is good evening. The one and only British Gray is here. What is up, British Gray? Good to see you. British Gray is joining us from the lovely Tampa, Florida. But although Miami and Tampa, Florida were actually quite cold the past couple days, Brian says, Tom, what is your favorite source for news on trading and stocks? So my favorite source would be Investors Business Daily, or IBD. And Investors Business Daily is a company that was founded back in the day by William J. O'Neill. He's largely known as being one of the best position size traders of all time. And Investors Business Daily was actually just bought by News Corporation for about $250 million. So now News Corp, you could think about the Wall Street Journal, Barron's, Fox News, and now the newest addition to News Corporation is now IBD, or Investors Business Daily. Hey, Al Baker says it was 40 degrees here in Hollywood, Florida, Tom. So Al, I'm assuming you were catching all the iguanas falling from the trees. Hey, Shot by Scott, if you're still watching, what was that like? Did you see any iguanas falling from the sky? Or what? What happened with that? My neighbors actually sent me some videos of the iguanas frozen on my driveway. It's kind of crazy. Lou G says, Tom, that library is stunning. It really is. Steven Schwartzman, he actually has a new book out. And as you know, he made the majority of his money in leveraged buyout deals. Cosmos says, wow, Tom missed out on the frozen iguanas. Well, hopefully when I'm back, we'll at least get one more cold front coming through. But we'll see. Andrew says, do you use Yahoo Finance? So I used to use Yahoo Finance a lot back in the day to pull reporting, but now I just use sec.gov. Cosmo, you're correct. The Bloomberg terminal is right here. Hey, Animal DL, good to see you. I have rode a bicycle on the streets. Roy S, Andrew, good to see you. So we're just waiting to cross the street here, everybody. We are gonna walk down Broadway. Somebody says, was it warm in New York City today? A lot warmer than the previous couple days, for sure. For sure. Cosmos says it's finally above freezing. I know, crazy. But supposedly it's supposed to get cold again after the weekend. But we'll see. We'll have to see about that. Now things are starting to get a little bit more quiet. It was crazy. It was like a zoo in Midtown. Well, I guess kind of we're in Midtown still, but... So one of the other notable pieces from Alphabet's earnings report. So Google's advertising revenue came in at around $61.24 billion. And this is up 33% from $46.2 billion the same period last year. So think about that. Last year they did $46 billion in advertising revenue. This year they did 61. 33% growth at a multi-billion-dollar run rate. Not a lot of companies can do that. Not a lot of companies can do that. That is really, really impressive stuff. And YouTube advertising revenue came in right in line with analysts' expectations. That is one thing I did get wrong. You know, I thought there was going to be a big beat in YouTube advertising revenue, but we came in just in line with analysts' expectations. But still a good quarter all around. Hey Dallas, it's Tom. Thank you for the lovely stream. It really gives us a perspective of New York. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. But YouTube advertising revenue came in right at $8.63 billion. And analysts were expecting 8.5. So right in line with expectations. But, you know, the YouTube segment of Google just seems to keep growing and growing every single quarter, which is phenomenal. And that's even with the new changes to Apple's policies. Because if you guys remember, Apple changed their policies about how you could track people via cookies and things like that. And that really impacted YouTube advertising revenue specifically. But despite all those adversities, they're still pulling numbers like that, which is really impressive. Hey, Chris is here. Chris, hope your foot is healing up. Alexander says, despite all the noise regarding interest rates, U.S. bond purchases remain near record levels. You're right. You are right. And I think that's one of the reasons why we always say on the stream, it's more important to actually watch what the Federal Reserve is doing as opposed to just listen to what they're saying. Because there's a lot of virtue signaling from the Fed. But, you know, we had the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. So last Wednesday, we actually heard from the Federal Reserve, Fed Chair Jerome Powell. And he claims that they're going to hold tight with completely ending their asset purchase program by March of 2022. Hey, RL's here. Says, Tom, I almost sold Google before earnings. Well, good thing you didn't, because you're up 10%. Dip Indy says, your streaming is like a thriller movie. I don't want to miss anything. Hey, thank you for saying that. It means a lot. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very, very much. Oh, and everybody, so since there was a follow-through day on Monday, there is going to be an additional behind the street newsletter that is going to be sent out to everybody tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit shorter than the traditional behind the street newsletters, but I really want to showcase in detail some of the earnings that I'm looking at, some of the charts I'm looking at. So if you want to sign up, if you type !news, NEWS in the chat, it'll drop the link to the behind the street newsletter that will be sent out tomorrow. Again, it's not going to be a full-blown behind the street, but it's going to be a supplemental one to the one I just sent out, because there's a couple things I want to cover in regards to the follow-through day that we had yesterday, which is Monday. So we're passing Artichoke Pizza. Not a big fan of this one, to be honest. Not a big fan. Hey, Dean M is here. Says, hope your meetings went well today. Hope everything's well. Yeah, Dean, I mean, everything's looking really good. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day. Pretty much all week is going to be busy. So I'm thinking about flying back. Ooh, this guy has to get out of the street. Man, what is he doing? I'm thinking about going back to Miami on Monday. I mean, excuse me, not Monday. Please God, Saturday. So in the distance, we could see the one and only Times Square. We are going to be walking to Chinatown tonight. NMB 045 says, Tom, I'm off finance topic, but I found fascinating cop reality show from France that I watch on YouTube. If you were fluent in French, you'd be hooked. Drop a link in the description. Let me see. Drop a link in the description, NMB 045. I'll check it out. I'll check it out for sure. All right, I think I owe you guys to walk through this. I've been getting hammered all week with people asking me to walk through it, and I've been saying, no, I won't, but I'm going to do it this time for you guys. I mean, unless you don't want me to. Hey, Upstate Albany Walking Show is here. Says, hello, folks. What's up, Upstate? Good to see you. Yeah, Dallas, I would recommend Becco. Becco is phenomenal. You got to go to Becco at Restaurant Row. I'm just kidding. I'll do it, guys. Funny. All right, let's wait for the lights to kick on. Just as we're about to walk through, no lights. We'll check it out anyway. Whoa. How's it looking from your point of view? I think it's going to start with all the noises too now. It's actually kind of cool. It's kind of trippy. Yeah, Obama says it's like a time machine. It kind of is like a time machine. At least a little bit. All right, that was good. Sabrina Fair says social engineering. Lose like I'm dizzy. Hey, Enzo says, Tom, where do you stay when you're in Miami? So I just recently bought a house. I bought a house in North Miami Beach, which it's technically a 2-family. So I will rent it out, but I'm thinking about going the Airbnb route because just to give you some perspective, one of my neighbors, and I think I told this story before, but we'll tell it again, might as well, no big deal. We got a long walk to Chinatown, so I have to have something to talk about. So my neighbor came over, he's like, hey Tom, I rented out my entire house for 4 months to somebody from the Northeast for $4,400 a month. So my neighbor's gonna rent out his entire house for the winter to a family that lives in the Northeast, and they're gonna pay $4,400 a month. My jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe it. It's a lot of money. But then again, I'm like, you know what? A snowbird that works remote, they have the ability to work remote, maybe they have a couple kids, it's a pretty good deal. If you could park your car in the driveway, you have a backyard for the kids to hang out, you have a couple bedrooms, you could cook meals at the house. That's actually probably more affordable than staying in a hotel for 4 months. But $4,400 a month for 4 months pretty much covers my mortgage for the whole year. Joey says Winter Olympics is in 3 days. It is. It's kind of crazy. Ever since COVID started, I haven't really been paying attention to sports as much as I should, but Dip Indy says you gotta watch this show on Netflix. We'll check it out. Shop by Scott says, where will you travel while it's rented? Well, I'm not sure if I'm gonna rent the entire thing out yet. I may just do Airbnb and rent out the individual rooms. I'm still undecided. I really have to figure it out, but I mean, either or, it's good. Hey, Bianca M, thank you so much for the $1 donation. Really, really appreciate it. Jack D is like $4,400 is like $150 a day. Which is pretty good if you have a kitchen, you have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, you can park your car in the garage. So, and North Miami Beach is only like 2.5 miles away from Sunny Isles Beach, which is right on the ocean. So it's pretty good. And she says that covers your mortgage, but are the taxes high? So my taxes are pretty high. Not as high as they would be in New York, but they are pretty high. They are pretty high. Hey, Kenneth says, hey Tom, I haven't watched the stream in a week. Have been in Lake Illinois for our daughter's Navy boot camp graduation. Hey, well, that's awesome. Thank you for her service. That is phenomenal. And congratulations. Congratulations to that. Love that. Daniel G says, good evening. What's up, Daniel G? Joining us from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Good to see you as we are looking at the Empire State Building here tonight. Joey says, Rangers 152. Man, the wind is really picking up now. Cosmos says, Tom, when do the big C warnings on your channel expire? You know, I'm not sure. I actually have to check that out. So now we are walking outside Macy's Herald Square. Near Carol H's old apartment, Herald Square Towers. Hey, 14 is here. What's up, Tom? What's up, 14? Good to see you. Dino says all 3 local New York City area hockey teams played at home this evening. Wow. That's awesome, Dino. Hey, Kevin Lee's here. Says good evening. It's 953 Atlantic Avenue, Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Rock Band 5 Million says, Tom, do you have a multi? So it's not a multi-family. It is a single family, but it is now a legal 2-family. So I just had to put up a separator. Hey, Josie is here. What's up, Josie? Good to see you. So now we are walking down 34th Street, headed towards 7th Avenue, where we will arrive at Pennsylvania Station. Smee Media says, Tom, how did you get interested in the stock market? So I think originally I was just interested in how companies work, right? There's an old saying by Peter Lynch, you know, behind every stock is a company. And I was just really interested in, you know, how companies operate, profitability, things like that. Yeah, Shop by Scott says, Tom, let's check out the Brooklyn Nets and Miami Heat. We got to do that. I'm down. I'm down, Scott. Hey, Brian is here. He says, hello, Walks on Wall Street. Classy Bell 85 says, looks beautiful. Robert Muhammad. What's up, Robert? Robert Muhammad says, hi, Tom. What's up? What's up, Robert? Dip Indie says, just curious, can ordinary people like me invest in hedge funds or not? Yeah, I mean, so the only thing is, you know, the US regulators are really, you know, whenever they try to help out the average American, they really just wind up screwing them. So in order to invest in a hedge fund, you need to be what's called an an accredited investor. And what that means is you need to at least have a net worth of $1 million, or you need to make at least $250,000 for 2 years in a row, or have a combined household income, if you're married, of $300,000. And then you will be allowed to invest in a hedge fund. But as of now, due to regulations, only accredited investors can have access to that. Hey, Roger says hello from the Bronx. What's up, Roger from the Bronx? Good to see you. 14 says, Tom, do you make $250K? I won't comment on the specific amount of money I make. Just to, you know. NMB 045 says, the way. Let's see. The way I got interested in finance is through a college librarian. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's good to have good college professors. Dino says, I was against the idea of Airbnb until I tried it. Yeah, Dino, I'm the exact same way as you. I use Airbnb all the time when I travel. I would never stay in a hotel. Hey, Sammy Pace says, so Tom, your single family can be split into 2 separate legal units with 2 separate kitchens. That's awesome. Yeah, so it's a little bit, I got really lucky. So all of the hookups, so think about it like this. When you walk into the house, there's a big dividing wall, and on that dividing wall is where all the hookups for the water, the gas, everything. So on the other side of the wall, all I got to do is just, you know, knock a hole in it, and I have all of the hookups to build a separate bathroom, to build a kitchen, everything. So I got really, really lucky with that. And it just so happens on the other side of that wall, there's a separate entrance. So there's actually another door. So I got lucky. So all you got to do is just, you know, build a little kitchenette, and then you're good as gold. Shot by Scott. That's hilarious. I like that one, Scott. So check out this view we got from the Empire State Building on this lovely night. Google reported fantastic earnings, up about 10% after hours. PayPal getting hammered after hours, down 15%. I think Starbucks got clocked, but it may have recovered a little bit. And it's at about flat. But regardless, you know, corporate earnings are coming in better than expected, at least in the major enterprise software and infrastructure stocks. You can think about the AWS, Azure, Microsoft Azure. So far so good. I don't think we should have came on this side of the street. We should have walked on the other side, but. Hey, Triple G says we haven't spoken about the EV market in a while. So I think when Tesla reported earnings, we did a whole stream about it, but you know, there's a lot more content like that coming down the pike. Mainly, I'm thinking about doing a stream. Well, check this view out, everybody. Hey, everybody, the Mighty Bull is here. What's up, Mighty Bull? Mighty Bull, you missed it. At the beginning of the stream, we were walking past the Eden Fine Art Gallery, and they had the most unbelievable picture or painting of the Mighty Bull I have ever seen in my life. Maybe tomorrow we'll go back and visit it, but you would have loved it, Mighty Bull. Hey, Ramirez is Tom. I also graduated from John Jay. Hey, cool. Yeah, we have a lot of CUNY students or CUNY alumni that join the streams. I did go to CUNY John Jay College myself. Cosmo Scary, former Baruch Bearcat. So very cool. Yeah, Tom M says, Tom, it seems like Manhattan's coming back since the bug started. Yeah, I would say so. You know, it's very encouraging to see a lot of people going back out to games and things like that. So very happy about it. Hey, Bennett Talk Show. This is very beautiful. I like it. Good to see you. Sammy Pay says, why was Tesla excluded from the Biden meeting with EV companies? I think because it's all a political dog and pony show. That's what I would say. So even though Tesla has done more to actually manufacture cars in America than any other company in the automotive industry, Biden continues to snub Elon Musk, which I'm not too happy about, but I guess we'll have to live with it. Ramirez says, I wanted to do the cop thing, but it never happened. Yeah, same here. You know, but as one door closes, another door opens. Nunez says, Tom, when will you be going to New Jersey? Probably not anytime soon, to be totally honest. Ken Kramer says, Tesla doesn't have union workers. That's why they were excluded. All right, so we'll cross the street and then head downtown. We got to make our way to Chinatown, and we've already been streaming for over an hour. Shot by Scott says, Tom, you got to give those Florida Panthers fans some Southern Florida love. Oh, is that who they were playing tonight? Were they really playing the Florida Panthers? Is that what they're called? I have no idea about anything hockey. Hey Sabrina, this is Tom. Why and when did you start streaming? So I started streaming because I was working all day, locked away in my apartment during the pandemic. And I was working like so much, you know, and I needed something to do to force myself to stop working, right? Because I could have been working all the way to midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, sending emails, building deal pitch books, things like that. And, you know, I was watching everybody's streaming, and I loved it because I always had it on in the background. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to break out the skateboard and, you know, skateboard around the city just to force myself to hang out. And then we started talking with some of the viewers about financial topics, and, you know, one thing led to another. And then now I think it's, you know, an enjoyable experience, at least for me. It's something I look forward to every day. And, you know, you guys would be surprised. I mean, the people we have on this stream, I mean, are some of the smartest people, the nicest people I've ever met in my life. All walks of life, different countries, speak different languages, you know, so it's really a good, I would say, networking experience, I would say. You know, we have people watching from China, from India, from Pakistan, from Korea, from Brazil. You know, pretty much every country watches the stream. Argentina. So it's good to meet people from all over the world that work in many different industries. So I enjoy it very much. We got a rowdy bunch here. 14 says, I'm from the Bronx. Very cool. Vinny Castellano says the national debt is now 30 trillion for the first time ever. So what does that make our individual share? So this is one of the greatest New York City landmarks you could ever visit right here. So if the national debt is 30 trillion, what does that make your individual family share? It must be over 300,000 now, right? Who could do that quick math? So if the national debt is over, I'm sure we could probably Google it. Hey, Ruby Falcone says, you are truly cared for here, Tom. Thank you, Ruby. Appreciate it. I think we are out of focus. All right, I think we're back in focus. JMTS Productions says, how come you never show your face on the stream? Are you a shy person? Well, it's a good question. So, two-faceted answer. Yes, I'm a shy person, but that's not the reason why I usually don't show my face. Mainly has to do with work obligations, and as I am, you know, trying to build a company and meeting with clients and things like that, there may be conflict of interest where prospects may not want me roaming the streets of New York streaming. So that's probably the biggest reason, but that will soon be worked out. Obama says $238,000 a year now. Wow. So here we are across the street from the Fashion Institute of Technology. It's right here on West 27th Street and 7th Avenue, also known as Fashion Avenue. And this is a SUNY school in the State University of New York, not to be confused with CUNY, which is the City University in New York. Look at all these lakes. That's the worst thing about walking around in New York after a snowstorm, There's all these massive puddles of water everywhere. JMTS Productions, does that make sense? Well, thank you for joining the stream, though. I appreciate you being here. Hey, Al Baker says, when Joe Biden is done, it'll be closer to $500,000 per person. Great job. Yeah, so Al Baker, I mean, Biden is spending like crazy, but also, you know, I like to keep it fair and balanced here on the stream. I tend to lean more conservative myself. You guys know that. But sailor, and I think he was a little bit disingenuous because he would, you know, parade around being all conservative, but, you know, if you actually look at his fiscal policies, he was really spending like crazy. But, you know, that's just, it's all politics. It's all politicians. It's all nonsense. Hey, Victor Perez. What's up, Victor? Good to see you. How are you, Victor Perez? So this is a pretty good coffee shop, too. Hey, Tom M is here. What's up, Tom? Good to see you. Hope you're well to our friend Tom M. Good to see you. Bonzo Lawal says politics is divide and conquer. So this is a pretty good coffee shop here. I would recommend it. Very good. Hey, Tom AK is here. What's up, Tom? Good to see you. Hey, Photos from Around New York is joining us. Good to see you, Photos. Hope you are well today. So we're gonna make a left at the corner here because I want to show everybody Madison Square Park. We're gonna take a quick walk through Madison Square Park. Man, it is so cool. It's getting cold down here. In Midtown, it wasn't cold, but now it's getting a little cold because there's gonna be an amazing view of the Empire State Building. I want everybody to see that as we make our way down to Chinatown. You know, it is the Chinese New Year, so I do want to make a trip to Chinatown. It's one of my favorite parts of the city. Hey, Jimmy G says good evening. What's up, Jimmy G? Good to see you. Namaste. Hope you're well. NMB 045 says, Tom, is that artichoke pizza place the only one serving artichoke pizza? So NMB 045, I'm not a big fan of that place. Just to be honest, not a big fan of artichoke pizza. I think it's a little bit overrated, but. Marilyn says, Tom, if you could be a full-time YouTuber and make enough money, would you do it? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, I really just do this as it's really enjoyable. It's a blast, and it actually helps me retain information a little bit better. So I was reading a book on memorization because I have a really hard time memorizing things. So one of the good ways that you can practice memorization is when you're actively standing up and walking around and you're reading and you're speaking. It actually helps you retain things more. So when you're talking to other people and explaining things out loud, it helps you retain that information. So all day, let's say if I'm sitting at the Bloomberg terminal, you know, and I'm trying to build, you know, a discounted cash flow model and understand the trajectory of a company's earnings. You know, if I do a live stream where we talk about, you know, Google's earnings, we analyze the entire report, and if I'm speaking that out loud for 3 hours, you know, chances are I'm going to retain that information a lot more. So over the past couple months, I've found that, you know, I've been retaining a lot more information, and I think my work is a little bit more sharp. Hey, the Mighty Bull, appreciate it, with the $5 donation. Says thank you for that picture, posting it tomorrow. Yeah, the Mighty Bull, that was one amazing photo we saw. Hey, amazing day, good to see you. So we were talking about like memorization. So one of the reasons why, so actually really quick pit stop here. When I was a teenager for a brief period of time, I actually used to work in this parking garage, but for a very, very brief period of time. And I would wash all of these rental cars right here. So if you could see the Enterprise Rent-A-Car sign, when I was like 17, 18 years old, I would wash the cars there. But my main location was on 83rd Street between Amsterdam and Columbus. And that was one of the most enjoyable jobs I've had. As crazy as that seems, washing cars, but it was. All right, so fresh start for you. Here we go. If you look all the way down 6th Avenue, you could actually see the Freedom Tower here. Lou Rodriguez, how old are you? I'm 26. So here we have a view of the Freedom Tower from West 23rd Street. Toronto Sports, what's up? Good to see you, Toronto Sports. Hope you're well. Just a question, please. I went for live streaming and it was up for 10 minutes. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to put the question again in the chat. Marjan says, Tom, what do you think about the Canadian trucker boycott? So in full transparency, I support the Canadian truckers. You know, and I think you guys all know we already have 3 strikes on the channel. I mean, we already have 2 strikes on the channel from talking about the Big C. If we get a 3rd one, we are out of here. But, you know, I value free speech more than the channel. I think it's more important. So I'll give my take on it. I think that if you want to get the vaccine, you should have every right to do that. But if you don't get it, if you don't want to get it, you shouldn't have to be forced to get it by a government entity. However, if it's a private employer and they require it, that's fine, because that's a private business. But if it comes from the government level, I do not agree with it. So what I think everybody needs to do as a responsible adult, you should consult with your medical professional. And if they say, hey, this is a good idea, you should probably get the vaccine, well, then you should probably get it. But if you don't want to do that, that is your personal choice and no business of mine, right? It's none of my business whether you get it or not. It's the same view that I have on, abortion. It's not my body. I have no choice in it at all, right? I'm a 26-year-old guy. I have no business telling anybody what they should do with their body, even though I may not agree with it from a religious standpoint, abortion. But in this country, one of the founding principles of America was we were founded on freedom of religion, freedom of choice. So just because my religion doesn't agree with abortion doesn't mean I have to impose my beliefs on somebody else, right? I may not think it's the best thing, but it's none of my business. I think the same thing for the COVID vaccine. If you want to get it, if you consult with your doctor and they say you should get it, which is exactly what I did, so I got it, I have it, because I think that was the best thing for me. But it may not be the best thing for somebody else. And I'm not anybody's dad, I'm not anybody's mother to tell them what to do. So I support the Canadian truckers. Wow, this is a great shot. I'm not sure what this building is called. but it is beautiful every time we look at it. Hey, Midnight Blue is here. Good to see you. But look, I respect everybody's points of view, right? We may disagree on things, but I do respect everybody's point of view. Bitsmag TV says the difference between vaccines and abortion is that the mandates for vaccines is not about your own body, it's about spreading the disease. Yeah, so Bitsmag TV, you do make a good point, but judging by the data that we have, the data doesn't suggest that at all. The data suggests that if you have the COVID vaccine, you could still spread the disease, right? The point of a vaccine is you're getting it to protect yourself. The narrative that it's protecting other people, you know, judging by the science it's not true. It's not true. And I know that's going to get a lot of people upset, but, you know, I think we could respectfully disagree with each other and we could still stay pals. Roberto says, you may not agree with abortion. The issue is the women's right and only hers. Yeah, I would agree with that. NE says, I just think it's ridiculous you can get banned for conversations like that. Yeah, I think tonight really caps it off. I think we're done after tonight. Unfortunately. Hey, I Am Philly's here. What's up, I Am Philly? Good to see you. Layda says, Clock Tower building in the New York Edition Hotel. Emilio Jays is making a new channel. Hey, Dogman, good to see you. Hope you're well. Yeah, so, you know, and look, I respect everybody's opinions. You're more than welcome to type whatever you want in the chat. But for me tonight, I think I'm gonna stop talking about it because I do want to keep streaming, and we do have 2 strikes on the channel, so we're just gonna cool it on that tonight. Hey, Two Wheel Pines is here. Says, what's up, Tom? Good to see you. Good to see you too. Eyeglass Lady says, I'm signed up for your newsletter in case something happens. Hey, Lady Eyeglass, appreciate it. Tom says, call yourself Pete. Yes, we are headed down to Chinatown. But the last thing I'll say, and this is a very, very small piece of anecdotal evidence. The vast majority of people, this obviously does not happen to. But at my previous tech company that I used to work at, one of the account executives has this really bizarre, rare blood condition that only like 1% of the world's population has. And so with the mRNA vaccine, he actually physically cannot get the mRNA vaccine, like actually cannot get it. And so he put in for a medical exemption with the company. His doctor wrote a letter, everything, and it still got denied. As crazy as that sounds. And my friend is like, dude, I want to get this thing. He's like, but I physically, like, actually, literally cannot. Because he has some very strange blood condition. So it's a little wacky, a little crazy, but, you know. Hey, Carol says, Tom, you talked about streaming earlier in Miami. Will you do the same when you're in New York? Yeah, so we will be streaming in New York and Miami, for sure, 100%. So we are on 22nd Street and Broadway right now. Hey, Julian says, the city looks beautiful tonight. Z.E. Batata says, J&J is not mRNA based. You are correct. You are correct. Hey, Kevin Sunderland, thank you so much for the support. $20 donation. Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it very, very much. says, living on the edge, talking about the big C. I love freedom from tyrannical rule and public health officials who care for the greater public good. I'm just not much of a lover. Well, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it very, very much. Appreciate that, Kevin Sunderland. What we were covering on the channel today, we were covering AMD's earnings as well as Google. Oh, that is a good point. So somebody in the chat, I just saw the comment go by. Yeah, so the Canadian trucker thing, you know, the media is really making it about anti-vax and the non-anti-vaxxers, which is actually not true at all. Actually, the vast majority of truckers in Canada are fully vaccinated, right? And some of the truckers that are actually opposing the mandates are fully vaccinated. It's not about being anti-vax or not. It's about the ability to choose, right? So for example, myself, I'm fully vaccinated. I live in New York City. You know, I mean, obviously, if you live in New York City, you kind of have to be, or else you can't do anything. But I oppose mandates, but I have it because I think it was the best choice for me. But who am I to tell somebody what to do? RL, good to see you. Midnight Blue, good to see you. Sabrina Fair, I will. Check out this mural here on the wall. Beautiful. Hey, Tech Explorers NYC says, Google split, should I buy before or after the split? So Tech Explorers NYC makes a really good point. So one of the most notable things that came out of that came out of Google's earnings today is that they're going to do a 20-for-1 stock split. And when the CEO was asked about this, you know, the CEO said, you know, we're going to do a 20-to-1 stock split in an effort to make our shares more accessible to investors, right? What I really think is probably going on here is, you know, they obviously want a rush of liquidity and a rush of buying to come into the stock to drive their market cap to that next $1 trillion level. And in order to do that, you know, if you have a stock that's almost trading at $3,000 or more, you know, it's not going to look as attractive to the naked eye as opposed to a stock that's, you know, trading at $100. But the most important thing to note about this is when a stock splits, there's absolutely no change in valuation, right? So a lot of the times when people say, hey, the stock split and now the stock is only $120, you know, they think the stock is actually cheaper, when in actuality, it is the same exact valuation. The price of the shares have just changed, but the valuation actually stays the exact same. So just something to note out. It's technically not a cheaper company. The only thing that has changed is the price of the shares. Hey, MYU, thank you so much for the $22 donation. I appreciate that very much. It says cold brew money. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Everybody who's been supporting, I appreciate it very, very much. And I'm hope you're enjoying the channel and the streams. Mike C says, did the same thing with valuation after dividends are paid. Mike C, good to see you. Hope you had a good Tuesday today as we are walking near Union Square. Captain Kirk says, thanks for the refresher course. What's up, Captain Kirk? Michael Johnson says, this is more entertaining than the media ever could hope to be. Michael Johnson, thank you for that. I appreciate that very much. Dino says, Tom, you said you would start a new channel if that happens. I believe after 1 or 2 strikes, we will follow you there. I appreciate that. Look, I mean, I'm speaking highly of Google's earnings today, so they should, take that into consideration. I'm giving you a good review on the street here, guys. Sarah G, good to see you. Fraser McLeod says, hi, Tom. Having a public healthcare system, overcrowded hospitals affect the whole population. Love the discussion. That is true as well. It's a good point. Thank you for joining in the discussion. Shot by Scott says, AWS, here we come, dedicated network. So, that was actually a really good comment. And I agree with that comment. And I'm not sure if you guys remember, but a couple months ago on the streams, I was like, right when this whole thing happened, right when COVID hit, I'm like, the government should have mailed out N95 masks to everybody in the country, right? You have everybody walking around with these dental masks on, and it's proven not to be effective against the virus. Why are you wearing a dental mask? You have to wear the N95s that actually provide the real protection against the virus. And that's the truth. That's not fake news. That is the truth. So appropriate, not just masking for the sake of masking, but if you want to wear a mask, you got to wear the N95s because that's real protection, right? But the good thing is, the Biden administration is now making the N95 masks readily available to everybody, which I think is a good thing. I think that is a good thing. So finally, the government is listening. Nipsey TY says, quote unquote, dental masks to prevent, quote unquote, others, not yourself. Yeah, so that's my point, right? The dental masks do not protect yourself or others. You have to get the appropriate, real N95. Right, the dental masks are show. The N95s are real. That's the ones that I wear. And now the Biden administration is rolling out the N95s for everybody for free, which is good. I mean, if you ask any doctor, say, hey, what would you prefer? An N95 or a dental mask? They would say they would prefer the N95s. Almost everybody. Eyeglass Lady says, I am only using the N95s now. Check out this view of the Empire State Building here from Union Square. Hey, Latha's here. Says, I also have a P100 mask for the forest fire season. Jeez. Kenneth says, Tom, I was in Chicago the other day. Shows why New York City is the best city in the world. What was wrong with Chicago, Ken? What happened? Hey, Al Baker says, that's very cool that you showed many angles of the Empire State Building tonight. Great job. Yeah, I mean, so on the way back, we're actually going to see an even better view of the Empire. But yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite buildings in the city. My favorite building in New York City is actually the Seagram building. So if anybody wants to Google the Seagram building, that building is my favorite. Very oftentimes on the stream, we'll actually go visit it. It's on Park Avenue. Mark Lee is here. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Samantha J, good to see you. Hey, Soho guys, says I moved to the Hudson Yards. Wow, congratulations, Soho. That's awesome. So does that mean you sold your place in Soho, or are you just subletting it to somebody else? Hey, Lori L says, hey Tom, enjoy your stream tonight. I just signed up for your great newsletter. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Lori L, appreciate it. So Lori, if you go to the website where you sign up for the Behind the Street newsletter, you could actually read all of the previous newsletters ever written. So I made sure I've archived them on the channel. So if you type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link. Hey, MKC Updates is Walks in Wall Street Tom. Happy Chinese New Year to you and your New Yorker. What kind of famous Chinese foods and Chinese restaurant name in Midtown New York City? So we always go to that soup restaurant. I forget what it's called. I'm horrible with names, but I go to that place quite literally almost every day. Does anybody remember the Chinese soup restaurant that is right next to Bryant Park and is very close to the Bank of China? That one is really, really good. But there's also another one that's even better. Well, maybe not better, but very close to it in Chinatown, which is phenomenal. And we'll actually take a walk past it tonight. You know, Lady-O, there's actually a Panda Express right near Penn Station. So I think it's on the south side of Penn Station, I believe. Yeah, photos from around New York says great noodle. RL, good to see you. So we're making our way, we're about to pass NYU, New York University, but before that, we're gonna go to Astor Place, where the IBM Watson building is. And IBM Watson actually just sold their healthcare unit. So they now divested their healthcare unit. And you know, IBM actually didn't report too terrible of a quarter. You know, it wasn't too bad. I thought it was gonna be horrible, but you know, in all fairness, judging, you know, based upon IBM, it was a pretty okay quarter. Let's just call it that. It was a pretty okay quarter. Hey, John says, hey Tom, Panda Express is for recovery hangover. What's up, John? Good to see you. Diana says, you were making me hungry. Tom, AK, says ramen noodle soup. Yeah, there's tons of good places in Chinatown. I mean, if you ever visit New York City and go to Chinatown, I mean, you could walk all up and down Grand Street, Mott Street, and there's so many great places to eat. Yeah, RL says, Tom, UPS reported a great quarter. So RL, I think Starbucks reported today. It was down a little bit after hours. I think it recovered. PayPal got hammered hard. It was down about 15% after the bell. But, you know, Google, the stock that we were talking about tonight, up about 10%. And AMD, I think, is up about 9% after hours. So two really good reports coming out of AMD. The CEO of AMD actually came on and said that they expect their deal with Xilinx to close sooner than expected, which is good news. And they actually just got approval from Chinese regulators to close that deal.
And the only reason, I mean, if I was in them again.
Hey, nice guys, this is a great route to Chinatown. RL says, PayPal is such a great company, but it's not cooking well. Yeah, so RL, we were briefly talking about that. So even though earnings came in positive, what we're seeing is an earnings deceleration, right? And on Wall Street, a lot of these stocks trade based upon the future expectation of their earnings. So the issue with PayPal is, even though their earnings are relatively stable, you know, every single quarter now for the past 3 quarters, we've been seeing decelerating earnings, right? Which is not good. So if I'm a fund manager and I saw Alphabet report a beat and raise quarter, if I saw AMD report a beat and raise quarter, why would I buy a PayPal, after hours, when even though the stock reported decent earnings, it was decelerating and they didn't give that too good a forward guidance. So forward guidance is one of the most important things to look for on a conference call. Yeah, or else PayPal value cut in half. Johnson says, I'm new to your stream. Thanks for the stream. Well, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it very much. Sabrina Fair says, Tom, how long have you been streaming? Quite a while now, I think. I think we've been streaming since April, I believe. Hey, Miss Bash is here. How are you, Miss Bash? Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday. Bonzo Lowell, good to see you. Antonio Rodriguez says, I'm new and I love it. Good evening, Antonio. Thank you for joining the stream. So welcome to our newest member of the channel, Antonio Rodriguez. Al Baker says Microsoft had a really good outlook. Really, really good outlook, Microsoft. So we covered that the day Microsoft reported earnings last week. We did an entire stream detailing Microsoft's earnings. So this is the IBM Watson building right here. Horatio Snipes says, Tom, are you a millionaire or am I underestimating? Good to see you, Horatio. Hope you're well, my friend. I think Horatio is actually a John Jay alumni as well. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight Google today, because, I think the first edition of 2022 of the Behind the Street newsletter, I highlighted a key industry theme for this year, and that is cloud computing, and number two, it was semiconductors. So as we know, the top dog in the cloud computing space is Amazon AWS. Number two, close behind, is Microsoft's Azure platform. But today, we had a big earnings report from Google, and their cloud revenue accelerated. Even though they lost money in their cloud computing segment, they lost a little bit less money than before. MB says, did you eat any Chinese food in celebration of the new year? So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to eat Chinese food yet, but I can guarantee you tomorrow I will be having, well, let me not say that. I should be having lunch in Chinatown, hopefully, assuming all goes well and I'm not getting bogged down with work. But good to see you, MB. Andy says, wow, 2 hours and your battery is still good. I think we're holding strong here a little bit. So now we are walking in the NoHo district. And to the right is actually NYU's fitness center. Yeah, Layla says this is so peaceful. It's a lot different than the start of the stream when everything was so loud. But I will say one of the things you have to watch out for is, even though we had a follow-through day on Monday, you got to be a little bit hesitant, because the vast majority of the volume, in my opinion, yesterday came from a lot of the garbage stocks. So you think about a lot of the stocks that have been hammered. So a lot of these big fund managers are closing out their short positions, which I think added to a lot of the volume. But, the S&P had another good day today. Hey, Midnight Blue is here. This is a very therapeutic walk. Good to see a Midnight Blue. We're gonna see some of my favorite buildings in New York, in SoHo, NoHo. A lot of these buildings with the fire escapes are beautiful. Alexander says, Tom, have you ever covered unexpected earnings on the stream? Ooh, well, we got one down. So everybody, we got the gimbal down. We are now turning into a Twitch stream, which is good. So bear with me 1 second. Oh man, it's so cold. I can't even take this off. All right, we'll just have to walk like this, which is fine. And we are on 20% batteries, so I do need to start to jog here. I promise we're gonna get to Chinatown before this phone dies. Well, we're actually pretty close. I think we're making pretty good time. We should be in Chinatown in roughly 15 minutes, maybe a little less. Ah, damn. How is the picture quality? Let's see. Down, but we are holding strong. I think we're doing our best. Okay, so now we are approaching Houston Street. Hey, Dale says, Tom, if you can buy crypto on Cash App, what does that mean for people trading crypto? I'm not sure. I think it just makes it a little bit easier maybe. But I personally use Gemini. So now we are crossing Bleecker Street here, headed to Houston. But if you're all enjoying the stream, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. Hey, Turkle is here. What's up, Turkle? Sarah G says, yes, I like Gemini. Good to see you, Turkle. Good to see you, everybody. That is true. Yeah, somebody said, of course you use Gemini. You're in New York. You're really not allowed to use anything else. Hey, Valentina, good to see you. So this is one of my favorite buildings here as we are headed down towards SoHo. Beautiful building here. Hey, Gerard Vincent says, hi, Tom. What's up, Gerard? Dale says, what is Gemini? Is it a specific crypto? So it is not. It is an exchange that was founded by the Winklevoss twins, most famously known for getting screwed on Facebook by the one and only Mark Zuckerberg. So check out all of the slush and the nastiness here. Hey, Gabriel, this is Tom. I'm going to New York City for a week. Need a hotel to stay at. Do you recommend anything? You know what? I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you, if you don't mind. I actually would recommend an Airbnb. I'll actually recommend an Airbnb. So this is Mulberry Street and Houston Street. Hey, Chris is here. This is what Tom said. I hope you stay warm tonight. Appreciate it. Mr. Cold says slush funds. Zakaria says, be careful, people are getting killed left and right in New York City. Yeah, I don't know about that at all. I don't know about left and right. But I appreciate the concern. I appreciate you wanting me to stay safe. It means a lot. Thank you so much for the kind words. All right, we're making good time. Once we get down to Prince Street, we should be right on our way to Chinatown. Hey, Tug Carter says hello from Georgia. Welcome everybody from Georgia. So one of my favorite pizza places is over here called Prince Street Pizza. It's still slushy. That's the only negative drawdown. Hey, Marty McFly says howdy from Alabama. My third time here. Good to see you. Hey, Tug Carter says, why do you prefer Airbnb to visit? I don't know, ever since I tried Airbnb, I really enjoyed it. I honestly really liked it. So, you know, I think if you want a more inclusive experience of New York, I would try Airbnb. So we still got some big slush puddles here. Slush compared to negative drawdown. Hey, Mr. Cold, good to see you. So once we make a right, we will walk through Little Italy and then we'll make our way to Chinatown. And by that time, we should do grand finale because my phone should die right then. So we're making good time. At least I think we are. Lou Rodriguez is beep beep. You know, Midtown is obviously way more clear than here in SoHo. And I think the main reason for that is because, you know, look at all these outside dining sort of houses here. Kind of hard to clean the streets. Marilyn's like, we hear your footsteps in the snow. Hey, Alton says, Tom, do you prefer New York over Miami? So, I think they're the two best cities. I prefer to be in New York in the spring and in the summer, and then I prefer to be in Miami in the winter. But I like them both. I think they're beautiful, beautiful cities. Apologies if I can't read the comments. I don't have the gimbal, and we need to make time. I think we have about maybe 15-20 minutes till the phone dies, so we want to make it to Chinatown before that. So please bear with me and enjoy the ride. It may be an all but shaky ride, but enjoy it nonetheless. Ooh, that was a slippery spot. We almost took a dive there. All right, so we finally made it to the one and only Little Italy. But we're gonna have to cruise past Little Italy in record time tonight. Hey, Thomas is, do you get hungry on your walks? You know, sometimes. I'm actually kind of hungry right now, a little bit. Midnight Blues is almost there. The beautiful sound of a New York City car horn. All right, so now we are in Little Italy. Hey, Joseph says the city looks peaceful. Don't know about what Fox News is all about. Yeah, I mean, look, if you listen to CNN, the sky's going to be falling because of the liberals. If you listen to Fox News, the sky's... No. If you listen to CNN, sky's going to be falling because of the conservatives. If you listen to CNN, or if you listen to Fox News, all right, I think I totally screwed up that analogy, but you guys get what I'm talking about. Sorry, it's just so cold that I'm trying to hold this steady. But you guys get the picture. But thank you for joining. Yeah, but Little Italy looks absolutely beautiful tonight. This is Thomas confused. Hey, Luis is here. Says, hey, Tom. What's going on? Joey Garcia is here. What's up? All right, couple more blocks, everybody. We are almost to our final destination of Chinatown. It was a beautiful walk tonight. Can we get a quick time check in the chat real quick? I think it's probably, what, 11 o'clock? Hey, War Walker is here. What's up, War Walker? Copy that. 10:50. Thanks, everybody. Couple more blocks. Hey, Rocky Rodriguez is here. Marilyn Ringle's still with us. What's up, Marilyn? Hope everybody's enjoying the walk through Little Italy, but we need to make it to Chinatown before the phone dies. Hey, Norm C. What's up, Norm?
Oh, what you?
Penny, what did you say?
So maybe not tomorrow, Norm. Still to be determined. Okay, guys, the moment we've all been waiting for. Here it is. We're coming up on it. The one, the only, the beautiful, the much anticipated Chinatown. We just have to cross the street. This place looks pretty good. Everybody, we made it to Chinatown. We just have to cross the street, so smash the like button because we made it to Chinatown without the phone dying. Smash the like button for Chinatown. Ah, Canal Street. Finally. Hey, Otto is here. This is awesome. So happy Chinese New Year, everybody. We're going to walk through as much of Chinatown as possible on this beautiful night. You're going to be able to see all the lights. I think the vast majority of the storefronts will be closed down because it's so late, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. I always like walking around Chinatown. So I'm very happy we made it. Look at the building here on the, such cool architecture, beautiful building. Hey, Uptown New York City, thank you. Man, now I'm kind of craving like a green tea, but everything's closed, which is a bummer. So here we are, one of my favorite places in New York City, Chinatown. I really love these lights, these lanterns. I'm not sure what they're called, but they're one of my favorite things to see. Hey, Out and About is here. What's up, Out and About? We are in Chinatown on Chinese New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, Western Mass Dave says green tea, my favorite. Joseph says love Chinatown. Love Chinatown too. A lot of good food, a lot of good places to come to. Definitely one of my favorite spots in New York. Ah, photos from around New York says Tom, these are Chinese lanterns. Okay, so we're gonna make a left on Bayard Street, I believe it is, if I remember correctly. And this has amazing lanterns too.
At night.
Hey Layla, Sabrina Fair, thank you for joining. Eyeglass Lady says get home safe, Tom. Wow, check out this massive pile of snow. So I think they're removing all the snow due to the Chinese New Year. Oh, so look at all the fireworks. So these are all the remnants of the fireworks that they were blowing off today. Wow, I feel like I missed out. I was at work all day. I couldn't see anything, unfortunately. I was watching Action Kids live stream at work though, and it looked like a blast down here. So let's try to cross the street. And let me know if the camera's in focus. I can't really tell if it is. So this is the Chinese Community Center. Hey, Joey Garcia says, oh my God, bro, I love Chinatown. Yeah, I apologize about the shakiness tonight, everybody. The gimbal did die. Hey, Al J's here. Good to see you, Al J. Man, this stream has made me really, really hungry. I wish some things were open so I could eat. This is like one of my favorite places of all time to come and eat. Let's check out some of the menus. Wow, look at, I wish I could just crush a lot of this right now. I think if I could choose anyone, I'd probably get this one. Michelle McGraw, I may stop somewhere by Penn Station to eat something before I go. But it seems like the sanitation department is out at work tonight, cleaning up a lot of the snow. So if you guys enjoyed the stream tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. A quick recap of this tonight's stream. We talked about Google's earnings, or parent company Alphabet Google. We talked about AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices, reported a great quarter, a phenomenal quarter. So if you want to see that whole recap, you could rewind to the beginning of the stream, or sign up for the Behind the Street newsletter, which is a free investing newsletter I send out every single week to, I think, over 400 people. So thank you for everybody who's been signing up to read the Behind the Street newsletter. And you will have a brand new, all but smaller Behind the Street newsletter in your email box tomorrow. So if you want to subscribe to that, comment !news, NEWS, in the chat, and the Nightbot will drop the link to the newsletter. But that is all I have for you today. So Marty McFly, thank you. Latha, appreciate it. Sally, Michelle McGraw, everybody in the chat. I'll do one more walk through beautiful Chinatown here so you guys can see, and then we will call it a night. So thank you everybody for joining. Hopefully for all of you New Yorkers out there, you will be able to get down to Chinatown to enjoy some delicious food for the Chinese New Year and take part in some of the celebrations down here. I hope to. Hopefully tomorrow won't be too busy of a day at work so I can come down here, but we'll see. Miguel Gonzalez, thank you. Sarah G. Joey says goodnight. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate it. Otto says thank you. Appreciate it, Otto. All of our friends in Canada, thank you. Tech Explorers, NYC, Obama, Bonzo, Law. And to the Mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there is, and you just need to know where to look. And I'll see everybody right back here tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.